Alright, let's look at how to play a solo game. So we're going to need the general cards. Let me pull these out. We're going to need grass tokens. We're going to need the faction that we're going to play as. In this case, I'm going to use spiders. We need 2 opposing factions. Now I have the expansions in here, but I'm going to play against ones from the base game here. So let's go ahead and choose the cockroaches. And let's do the ants. Now I'm going to look for the boards in here. We're going to grab 1 board for each of the factions that we're using. So, spiders board. We need the general boards. So, jelly bean. Here's our ant board. Here's our other general board. Cockroaches board. And our final general board. Go ahead and move the box out of the way here. So here's all the components that we're going to need to play this. Now we're going to look at this solo setup card here. And I'm going to set up the general boards, like the 3 in here. The opposing boards go there and there, and my board goes here. Each of these boards are double-sided, so we want to look for the side that matches. So the jelly bean's going to go like this. Let me just move this box completely out of the way here, so we're done with everything that's inside that for now. Then I'm just going to go and set these up as indicated on the card. Get this nice and centered. There we go. Let's go ahead and lay out our resources. So we have our 1 foods, our 2 foods, and our 3 foods. We have our hunger cards. We're going to shuffle those up because remember, there are different hunger cards and we might have to draw them. We'll be face down there. We have our leftovers, which I'm going to lay there. 3 DNA. 2 DNA. 1 DNA. 1 copy of 4 of the general cards. That's just going to go to my tech deck. It'll be over here. And while we don't really need to have the player board, I might as well pull it out, since most new players don't know the stuff and they're going to need the board. So I'll put it out here as part of the setup. I think I'm just going to put my mission cards right here so you can see them better. Just note that the 3 DNAs, 2s, and 1s are up here. I'm going to be reaching across for those. I want to put most of the playthings I want to use right here. We're going to grab out our cockroach cards here and tiles. So I had bagged up the solo stuff separately. Pull out these tiles. We will need the enemy tiles. We won't need any of their tech deck because they play differently than if a player was playing them. Then I'm going to pull out my cards. And now for me, I'll use all the regular cards that I would normally use. And I'm also going to gain my solo ability. So I'm just going to dump these out here. These are all my tiles and tokens. In my spider solo bag, I'm going to grab out my solo ability. Let's put that to the side for now. Pop my tech deck over here. These are the cards I could purchase from. So here's my tech deck. These are all the cards I could purchase from throughout the game. Besides DNA. We can always buy DNA. I have my starting deck, which I'll lay to the side of my board. And now let me move these out of the way here. We'll pull those out separately here in a second. So now with our missions here, we have our solo sides. I'm going to lay these star side up. I'm going to look at the mission number and put them in order. So 1, 2, 3. And my mat. I might just not use the mat for this play. I'm trying to get everything in the camera here. Kind of run out of space. I don't really need the mat. I've played this enough that I kind of know what goes where. 4, 5, and 6. And then solo ability. Are they seeable? I can slide everything up this way. So I guess I could fit the mat in here since I'm sliding stuff around. Normally I'd play with the missions beside my mat, but for this I want you to be able to see everything. We have our starting deck, bug marches, DNA, and food. Each faction has pretty much the same starting deck with small variations on the food and DNA mix. The core factions are very much similar. You're not going to see too big of a difference there. Grass tokens. And now the last thing we have to do is we need to make our event deck. So I'm going to be taking the ants events, and we'll be doing their setup in a second. So each faction has an opposing rule card. It's going to tell us a couple things. It's going to tell us some of the abilities they have. Also, if we're playing the advanced game, it has our advanced rules down below. We're not going to play the advanced game, we're going to play a general game. But the main thing I'm looking for are these 8 event cards. They say events on the back. That's how we know they're event cards. In co-op or solo play, you're going to have 2 different enemy factions, and you're going to be using, we got this other one out here, you're going to be using the 8 event cards from both of them, shuffling them together to make your event deck. So I take this 8 and this 8, and I'm just going to kind of shuffle them together. Oh, those are some of the cockroach missions. Let me put them away for now. They'll get mixed back, or I'll put them back into the cockroach bag in a second. Oops. Just making sure I mix these up pretty good. We don't want the same faction to keep hitting us over and over again. Now, I look at my starting unit at the bottom of my mat. So you look down here for your starting unit. It also has your starting deck. It tells you what's in there. My starting unit is a gray wall jumper. So I go through my tiles. If I find him, put him there facing my direction. As for the enemies, And look at this. So here's the cockroach setup. It tells me I need 2 leaf roaches and 1 palmetto bug. And I just place them where it tells me. You would look and see which side of the board it's A or B, where you put the board for it. For this one, it's A. The ants are going to be B. When you place them down, they always face towards your home spawn point. For the initial 2 that are, or the initial ones that are placed. Oops, it's a leaf roach. The palmetto is at this rock. Oh, I will also look at co-op. Let's flip that over to solo. So he's actually not at the rock, he's over. That's the edge over here. This one's here. And then for ants, we have 3 worker ants. Look at this one. And there we go. Now we're all set up to play. From here, we just start playing. I take my turn, then they take their 1 event card turn, and we go back and forth. I am going to give an example of this play here in a little bit, but I wanted to make the setup rules here to show you the difference of setup from here compared to the base game. It's really just setting up with these 3 cards in mind. 1 for each enemy bug faction, and then you have your normal solo setup. Alright, thank you for watching.